3. Ooh, that Sega logo, so pretty.
Indeed. So yeah, as I said before, I mean, I am familiar with the Streets of Rage series. I have not played 3, so we are technically still okay here. But I love me a good beat 'em up, and Streets of Rage games are good beat 'em ups. Let's get a little bit of bass line going here.
I've learned
Courtesy of the great Yoshiro. What's his name? Wow, I can't believe I just did that. Kuzo, right?
Something. Wow, they're cutting off a lot of letters here. That might just be an emulation thing, though.
It must
That's
have been
definitely an emulation thing.
Yeah.
What emulator are you using for this?
Well, no, it may be an OBS thing. It may be that the window.
Oh.
Yeah,
but the Streets of Rage logo was perfect.
Yeah.
No, this feels like a no, because Blaze is also in there. This is an emulation issue. Yeah. Yes. Oh no, the TF.
No, it's a little off. It's the OBS window, so it's
okay.
It's fine.
We'll survive. If you're watching this, everybody. Oh yeah, Zan is cut off too. So, okay, so there's a bomb. It's about to go off. Okay. Okay, so these guys are a bomb squad now? Okay, was there always an old guy who's really a robot in the previous games?
I mean, I'm not too familiar with the lore.
Yeah, because this is really, I mean, I think I've booted up a Streets of Rage game once or twice in my life, but that's the extent of my experience with the series.
Yes.
So.
Yuzo Koshiro, for some reason, I was moving the syllables around in a weird way. But yes, the legendary Yuzo Koshiro.
Nice effects on the chains when you threw somebody. The chains moved really nicely.
Yeah.
Sorry, those are the kind of little details I always get a kick out of in these games.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm trying to see how the sprites are put together. It's cool. Okay. Are you using all 3 buttons here?
Yeah, so I mean, just as in the other Streets of Rage games, there's a kick button, a jump button, and then a special move button.
Okay.
And you can do various types of jump kicks and holds and whatnot as well.
Looks like there's some meat on the ground.
Yeah, yep. Little, I think it's an apple in this case, though it's hard to see it down there. But now, of course, I wasn't quite sure how the controls mapped. So against the first couple of enemies, I was using my special move, which was taking my health away. I'm no longer using my special move.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, gotta love dithering. Oh, so much dithering. It does look pretty as hell.
It does, though. I do prefer Blaze's red costume, I gotta say, from Streets of Rage 2. I mean, it's basically the same costume. It's just different colors. Because they got to show that it's a different game.
That's true, too. Okay, so we've got the fun part of every side-scrolling beat-em-up of 1,000 identical goons attacking you.
I brought a knife to a gunfight there, Carl, but it seems to be okay.
Wow, that's because those bullets are kind of slow. It's like...
That's true.
Reminds me of that old Dorkly video where it's Mario... No, it's not Mario. It's Bowser going to the Goomba who makes his bullets, and he's like, Mario just killed all my kids. He's like, yeah, but now we've got this bullet. It moves a little bit faster, and he pulls out an actual gun and just shoots the guy in the knee. He's like, that's what a bullet's supposed to do. And then you see Mario, he's jumping around thinking everything's okay, and then a minigun pops up and just riddles him with bullets. It's great.
That is hilarious.
Oh, well, sorry. Okay, Dorkly. They haven't been funny in a long time. Now, Genesis fighting games.
Genesis does.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so much better. I mean, obviously, Streets of Rage is taking a lot of cues from the Final Fight series, like a lot of cues. But the Genesis Streets of Rage series so much better than the SNES exclusive Final Fight games. I mean, the first Final Fight game on the SNES is kind of cool for the large sprites it has, but of course loses a lot of the coolness factor by being one player only and cutting out an entire stage.
And one of the playable characters.
And one of the playable characters as well, yes. In the form of Guy. And in the subsequent games, which were specific to the SNES, they're just not. Final Fight 2 is just not that interesting.
Yeah.
I own it, and it's just kind of terrible. And the Streets of Rage games just have so much more variety, so much more stuff going on, which is something I always appreciated about them.
Well, I mean, alone the fact that you have so much more real estate to move around in, it changes the strategic factor. I mean, a side-scrolling beat-em-up where the figures are really, really huge changes your strategies for what you can and can't do. And
absolutely.
I mean, Final Fight used that to its advantage in the arcade version.
Right.
Loses some of that. And yeah, this character is clearly modeled off of Final Fight. My God.
Yeah, that direct ripoff.
This is just a painful ripoff. But hey, it's all good. And the it's just
Koshiro, with the beats behind it. I mean, music's always great in the Streets of Rage series.
Yeah. Despite the limitations of the Genesis sound chip.
Yeah.
There's a good beat 'em up. Is a good beat 'em up. Have you played Shredder's Revenge?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, very good game. Never made it past the past Shredder at the end. That's where I stopped. I just kept getting frustrated there. It's on Netflix. I was playing it on my phone. Maybe that was the problem.
Probably.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing you just need a controller for.
Yeah, I played it on console and I didn't have terribly too much trouble with it.
This is one of the rare occasions when you're actually going over your 7 minutes.
Well, because I spent so long on that intro. So I just kind of wanted to get to the end of this stage.
That hasn't stopped you in the past.
It depends on the game. I mean, I love me a good beat 'em up. I mean, this is one of my favorite things. My heyday in the arcades was the late 1980s, and the beat 'em up was definitely the king of the late 1980s arcades. So, because of that, I've always had a fondness and a soft spot for it. Played a lot of Bad Dudes and Double Dragon and Final Fight and the original TMNT arcade game. In the late 80s in the arcade. So
you and me both. I mean, Simpsons, TMNT, Moonwalker. Oh, for some reason I just kept coming back to Moonwalker. The isometric view on that just added a whole new layer.
There were just so many good ones, and then the whole industry moving to 3D, nobody really figured out a good way to bring the beat 'em up into 3 dimensions. There were attempts. They just weren't that great. And
Fighting Force.
yeah, and it kind of killed the genre, though. Of course, there have been some kind of retro revivals, but games like Shredder's Revenge and Streets of Rage 4, while they're amazing, haven't really brought the genre back. They mostly just cater to those of us who miss it from back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you would bring back a game where a straight playthrough is under 30 minutes.
That's part of the problem for sure.
And I mean, it really works in the arcade setting. You're dropping in a couple of quarters and then, come back a week later. But I don't know if it would really work in any other genre without getting extremely repetitive.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay, let's get back to the show.